Hi everyone. On today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 ballet moves that helped me get rid of my back pain in my 40s. So let's just start with what the problem was. I have been an office worker my entire life. So maybe that's around 20 years of sitting in a very sedentary position. There were no standing desks 5 years ago. So much of my time has been spent kind of in an office, in an environment where I wasn't really moving away from the desk very much too. I work in investment banking, so they are long hours, can be quite pressured. Basically, all of this has an impact on your posture if you're not actively moving around, which I definitely wasn't. So, fast forward into my 40s, I had the usual list of complaints: backache, fatigue, lower kind of mobility, issues in my legs beginning to arise. I was super concerned about all this, but dismissed it just to getting older, like many of us do. And then things gradually began to get much, much worse because things you don't fix, especially in your body, those pains don't go away. So I had multiple consultations with doctors. I spoke to various specialists. Luckily, there was actually nothing wrong with my spine. I didn't have any major kind of issues in my bones. And the conclusive evidence really was just not enough mobility, not enough moving around. So I decided to go on a little bit of a journey to try different things. I tried strength training, I tried Pilates, yoga. And whilst all of these things were great and did fix a lot of my posture issues, the one thing I found which really released a lot of my back pain was actually when I started ballet. So here are my 3 moves which you can do today. They're for absolute beginners, and let me know if this helps because I don't want to keep this information to myself. Because as soon as I started doing these moves, within around 1 to 2 weeks, I felt a huge difference. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is warm up and do some stretching. And I start with a few planks and then I use my foam roller. This has been one of the best investments and an absolute must before I do any exercise routines whatsoever. I will leave a link in the description for my recommended, but please don't skip this step. It's super important and it's going to set you up in the best way before you do any exercise. I go down my back and then I go down my front and end with a few simple stretches on each side of my leg. Okay, on to the very first exercise. This is very simple. I'm laying down flat on the floor. I can feel my pelvis and my stomach on the ground, and I'm simply doing toe touches, making almost like a triangular shape without lifting up my hips or my hamstrings. This is a very isolated movement and it really helps me engage my pelvis muscles to the ground. I would do 3 sets of 8. And just to show you what this looks like, once you've stood up from this exercise, this is all about making sure you can feel your pelvis is aligned properly. And what I mean by that is your body is stacked or on top of each other. If there's any part which is kind of sticking out, which I'm demonstrating here, you want to bring in, but not too far forward so it's sticking the other way. So what I do is once I've done that first exercise, I will do around 10 to 15 repetitions of just aligning my pelvis in the right way to make sure that I can feel the alignment. Okay, now we're going to put this all together in the third and final exercise, which is a plie on a ball. A plie basically means a small bending of the knees in ballet. And because we've done the first 2 exercises, this is a really good challenge to make sure that you've got full control of your pelvic alignment and also all your leg muscle groups to make this position. I'm literally pulling my legs straight on a ball, making a T shape and rolling the ball backwards to myself. It's a little bit tricky and you do need to find your balance, but once you do, the repetitions should get easier. And this really challenges your pelvic alignment, all of your leg muscles, and for me, it really relieved a lot of my back pain. I would probably do around 8 to 10 repetitions and around 2 sets. So just to show you guys, after you've done these 3 exercises, I tend to try a few plies. Over here, I'm going on to releve, which just means I'm lifting off onto the balls of my feet. But a plie is just a simple bend. You don't have to rise up. I always like to test how many of these I can do after these exercises, and I always feel a lot stronger, not just in my legs, but I also am very much aware of my pelvic alignment, and that sets me up to have a stronger sensation when I'm rising up and protecting my back. So they were my 3 very simple ballet moves that I hope you will give a try. Like I said, they're for complete beginners, so please don't feel intimidated. Always make sure you're consulting with your medical doctors and practitioners whenever taking up new exercise. I'm not a medical practitioner, I'm just a regular person sharing my advice. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing. I post weekly on all things wellness for women over 40, and I hope you found this helpful. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.